Number 6, I'm glad my mom died. Every time I woke up, I was like, okay, it's time to get back to the book. Like, could have been shorter to me. I love the romance aspect. Welcome back to my channel. So sorry, my ring light is in my glasses. I needed my glasses to do this video. And I also have a hole in my mouth because I'm getting ready to go to work today. And I'm almost better. I'm almost all the way better. So I'm trying to get myself together for work. But I have to do this video first because this is day 24 of Vlogmas. It's Christmas Eve, y'all. I cannot believe it's Christmas Eve. That's crazy. Christmas Eve is crazy. But it's Christmas Eve. And so I wanted to go ahead and do my reading wrap up. I did one last year, and I kind of want to make it like a yearly thing on my channel because I love books. Now, disclaimer, this is not a book channel. This is not BookTube or anything like that. I only talk about books like maybe twice a year. Once when I get a new stack of books, and then at the end of the year, I like to talk about all the books I read. So this is not a book channel, if that's what you're looking for. But we do like to read over here, and I do talk about books twice a year. So that is what this video is going to be about. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's get into the video. So I read 10 books this year. Have my iPad so I can, So I read 10 books this year. It's going to be 11, but I'm almost finished with the book. And I'm not finished with it yet. So basically I read 11 books this year. We're going to say that. And I'm going to just go through it in order. I'm just going to talk a little bit about them and then like show y'all the book and rate it 1 to 5. So that's what this video is about. So the first book I read this year is called Power Thoughts, and it's by Joyce Myers. It's like a spiritual Christian book. It says, get equipped with 12 strategies that provide the antidote for every battle in your mind. With Power Thoughts, learn how you can control the way you think and positively affect every area of your life. So it's 12 strategies to win the battlefield of the mind, talking about your thinking, how to renew your mind, how to renew your thoughts, and things like that. So I read this book. It's the first book I read this year, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. I didn't agree with everything in the book that it was saying, but it was good. It was a good book, and it has like things for you to participate in, so you can put answers. It has questions and answers in it, and it's about 280 pages, so it was a good book. Yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The second book I read this year was called The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and I had heard so much about this on BookTube and BookTok. I was like, I gotta read this, and I think I read this very quickly. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was very good. I love the romance aspect of it. It's about 400 pages long. I love the way this author wrote the book. It was very, I like the pace of the book. I like the dialogue of the book, the back and forth, the romance aspect, everything of it. So it was really good. It was like enemies to lovers trope, and I just enjoyed it. And I read it fairly quickly. I tried to read this book like last year or 2 years ago, and I could never catch on. So I was like, this year I'm going to read this book, and I'm not going to stop. So maybe it was just the mind frame I was in or the headspace, but I finally got into it, and I love this book. So I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Third book I read is Help My Mind is Under Attack by my pastor, well, my former pastor, Pastor Mike Moore. He's our founding pastor. Now his son is our pastor. But, of course, 5 out of 5 stars, and not just because he's my pastor. It was really a good book about mental health, and pastors are really afraid to talk about mental health, and that's what I love about my church. My church speaks on mental health, and it just talks about, like, that's an important part of life, and God cares about your mental health too. And so people should know that. A lot of people don't know that, but God cares about your mental health too. Anyway, so this book is like, it provides insights on how we can change the way we face and overcome the origins of spiritual attacks on our minds. It's a cause for us to live emotionally free of these burdens with a new peaceful life that is promised to us. Because God promised us a peaceful life, peace in our minds, peace in our bodies, peace all the way around. So Help My Mind is Under Attack. Replace inner chaos with enduring peace. Highly recommend. 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is The Power of Right Believing. So I read a lot of spiritual books. I'm not just like a holy person, but this is the year that I needed to be building myself up spiritually. So that's why I read a lot of spiritual books, listened to a lot of spiritual teachings. Oop, dropped my book. So this book I read is called The Power of Right Believing by Joseph Prince. I've been listening to him a lot this year. It's 7 Keys to Freedom from Fear, Guilt, and Addiction. So believing right is the key to a victorious life. In The Power of Right Believing, Joseph Prince unveils 7 practical and powerful keys to help you find freedom from every fear, guilt, and addiction. And so it has real life testimonies from people and how they overcame things and keys to help you overcome things you might be dealing with in your life. It's kind of chunky, but I did read it. This one is 350 pages, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. The next book I read, this was my favorite book of the year. Book as far as like fiction. This was my favorite. I wish they would turn this into a movie, honestly. This was so good. It's called Such a Good Liar, and I didn't get this from Book Talk or anything. When I went to the bookstore, I was like, I want to pick out something that, you know, I just might be interested in. Sorry, this haul, y'all. So it's called Such a Good Liar, and it's by Sue Wallman, and it says Lydia has a secret. She's not Lydia. So let me just read it back. Fake it till you kill them. Lydia has arrived on an exclusive Caribbean island populated only by the ultra-rich. The Harrington sisters rule the island, throwing lavish parties and treating everyone around them like toys for their amusement. Lydia simply can't wait to meet them. That's because Lydia's not really Lydia, and the Harringtons have hell to pay for what they've done. When a storm hits the island and cuts off all routes to the mainland, Lydia is given the perfect opportunity to exact revenge for her mother's death. But with time running out and her identity about to be exposed, will she be able to carry out all her deadly plans? Y'all, this book was so good. I was reading this book. Every time I woke up, I was like, I don't know how long it took me to read it, maybe like a couple of days, but every time I woke up, I was like, okay, it's time to get back to the book. Like, this book was so good. And when I finished it, I was like, this should be on Netflix. Like, this should be a movie or a limited series. This book was so good, and I highly recommend it. I hope they do something more with it in the future. All I can do is hope, but it was very good. Page Turner, a page turner for sure. Fake rich, pretending to be somebody you're not, getting revenge for your mother's death. It was so good. It was so good. So I gave it a 4.9 out of 5. And the reason I didn't give it 5 out of 5 stars, the ending felt rushed. Like, we did all that building, and then the ending kind of like felt like rushed into the last chapter or two. I was like, y'all could have gave us a little bit more for the ending, but love the book nevertheless. Number 6, I'm Glad My Mom Died. I finally read this. I saw it when it became popular, and then I knew it hit the #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, and it was there for a long time, and I was like, I just wasn't in the headspace to read it. But I finally got to it. 5 out of 5 stars. Jeanette McCurdy, you are hilarious. And it is supposed to be funny. But like, the way she wrote this, it was just, you couldn't help but laugh. And I have trauma of my own, so laughing is a coping mechanism for some trauma victims. So it was hilarious. I'm sure y'all already have heard about this, so I don't have to get too deep into it, but her mom was very abusive and manipulative and narcissistic, all of the things. And so she finally died, and that gave Jeanette McCurdy the freedom to write this book about her, to talk about her experiences and why she got into the entertainment industry and why she left and she disappeared, you know, seemingly so. And it just talks about her whole life and her mom and how she was intertwined in her life. Perfect, like perfect banter, perfect writing skill. The chapters were not too long. Some chapters were like only 1 or 2 pages. Like, it was just perfect. Everything was perfect about it. And very detailed, very spot on just with everything she wrote. So highly recommend if you were like me and didn't read it when it was the hype of everything on every news channel, on every blog outlet. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. The next book I read was called The Score by L. Kennedy. I'm still reading the Off-Campus series. I think I have one more book in the Off-Campus series. So The Score was a 4.25 out of 5 for me. I loved it. It was just a bit too long for me. I felt like it was being dragged on. Could have been shorter to me. I love the romance aspect. I can't remember anybody's names. I'm sorry. But I love the romance aspect. It's just, it took too long to build up for me. Like, the build up was too long. And then some of the romance I didn't like, but I liked it overall, which is why I gave it 4.25 out of 5. It was just the length and the build up. But, you know, I like L. Kennedy's writing, and I will be reading the rest of the series and everything like that. So it was good. It just wasn't my favorite. I think The Deal is my favorite so far of the Off-Campus series. Or was it the second one? I can't remember. It was either The Deal or the second one, but The Score is third in the series for me so far. The next book I read is called Dangerous Prayers by Craig Groeschel. I listen to his sermons on YouTube a lot. And it says, because following Jesus was never meant to be safe. And this book is designed to help you pray the not so basic Christian prayers that everybody prays. Like, oh, thank you for waking me up, and thank you for blessing me with the house. And but like, it just helps you to think more about your prayer life. Like, expand your prayer life. You can be asking God for more. You don't have to be afraid to ask God for things. So like, this book goes into depth on how you can pray prayers that are people may assume are dangerous, or they may be afraid to pray to God for. You can ask God for anything, and this book just goes into that. So let me see what I rated it. I rated this a 5 out of 5. It was very good, very good, very good. And it's a short read. So let me see how many pages. It's like 190 pages. But look how, you see, some of the pages aren't even full. So it's a very quick read. Next book I read is called The Purpose Room by Heather Lindsay. A meeting place where you discover, accomplish, and birth your God-given purpose. So if you ever struggle with identity, your purpose, being afraid of or walking in your purpose, this book is for you. The Purpose Room seeks to create a comfortable atmosphere for you to be honest about your talents, gifts, and insecurities in order to walk confidently in the path that God has called you to. Regardless of where you are in life, the Purpose Room will help you to discover, accomplish, and birth your God-given purpose. So this was a really good read. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I like the way she writes as well. This is my first time reading a book by her. She talks about her own experiences and how you find your purpose. Sit down, make time for God, and he will reveal things to you about what you need to, like, be better, and how you can live your life fully, like live this earthly life fully before you get to heaven. He wants you to have everything that you can be capable of having in this life. Just make time for him, and he'll reveal all these things to you. So this is just about discovering yourself and your purpose, and meeting up and talking to God and finding out what he wants you to do, because he has a plan for everybody. He wants everybody to impact this world in a different way, but you have to sit down with him and make time to find your purpose. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 if I didn't already say that. And then the last book I read in completion is Silent Seasons. I just finished this last night. Oh, this is also by Heather Lindsay. So I've read 2 books by her now. And I gave this a 4.8 out of 5 stars. And Silent Seasons, trusting God when you don't understand. So basically, you know, a lot of people say, I don't hear from God. Well, like, I'm praying to him and I don't hear anything. This book explains that. So when you don't hear from God, that is also still an answer from God. So this book just goes into depth about silent seasons and what you're supposed to do when you're not hearing from God, or so you think. And it says, are you going through a silent season in your life right now? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like doors keep closing but nothing is opening in your life? Do you feel rejected or forgotten? If so, this book is for you. In Silent Seasons, Heather Lindsay shares how silent seasons are an opportunity to grow closer to the Father. So it just shows everything. And of course, she details her experiences as well and things you can do in your silent season to stay on your path and keep moving forward in a good direction. And the last book I'm reading currently, I got about 3 more chapters in this, so I will finish before the end of the year. That's why I'm including it in this video. It's called 40 Days to Discovering the Real You, Learning to Live Authentically by Cindy Trim. It's an interactive self-discovery journal. So it has like Q&A and it has like readings. You see, I've done a lot of highlighting and stuff like that. So it just talks about like how to discover the most authentic parts of yourself, how to be authentically yourself, how to live in this world and not compromise yourself and things like that. And so it's a 40-day book. So you're supposed to do it 1 day at a time. And like some days I forget, so sometimes I do like 2 or 3 days at a time, but it's fine. But as long as you are like interacting and being honest, like these are self-help books. Some of these are self-help books. So like you have to be honest if you really want it to work. So it's like a transformation book, and then it's like interactive, so questions and answers. It's reading too, and just tips and everything, and basically designed to help you learn more about yourself and things like that. So those are all the books I read this year. I am proud of myself because 1 year I was not able to read anything. I was just in such a terrible headspace. I couldn't read anything. But my reading grew this year, so I'm excited for next year. And of course I'm going to school, so I won't have as much time to read, but I still want to make reading a priority. I love books. I love reading. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you read any of these books in the comments down below, and if you've read them, let me know what you rate them on a scale from 1 to 5, or if you would recommend any books like these that I haven't read that are similar to these. Let me know in the comments down below as well. And that is all for this video. Thank you for watching day 24 of Vlogmas. We have 1 more day, you guys, until Vlogmas is over. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for Christmas Day. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas Eve, a Happy Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas Eve, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Love you. Bye.